Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the This Nanny Knits knitting podcast. My name is Lucy and today is Sunday the 19th of September, right? Yes, I still have to check. I have banished myself to the bedroom. My husband is home and I just cannot record in front of him. He's like, I'll put headphones in, it will be fine. I won't even look at you. And I'm like, I can't do it. So I'm going into the bedroom. So this is why I have a bit of a blank space. Welcome if you are new here, and if you are returning, thank you very much for coming back to listening to me waffle on. You can find me in all the usual places. Everything will be linked down below. All the places you can find me, anything that I talk about, any project, etc. will all be down in the description box below. So go check that out if you need any further details. I hope you've all had a really good week since I saw you last. Yeah, week. And let's just get started. I have quite a few whips, but not many finished objects. So I'm going to have a sip of tea. Today I'm drinking fruit tea. It's just forest fruits, I believe. It's very hot, I think. Very hot. It's nothing very exciting. It's just a fruit tea bag. So where shall we start? Okay, let's start with old whips, ones that I have previously cast on that I've been trying to really work on. I'm going to try not to knock the microphone. I am pleased to hear from the comments from the previous video that the microphone is helping. So apologies for before, but I'm pleased that that helps now with a few volume issues. Okay, so this whip is housed in my Loop London bag that I bought when I went to visit the store. And let me get out a couple of things. Okay, I've really worked on this week. I hadn't got very far and I was like, Lucy, this is your own cowl. So if you don't know, this is part of a cowl that I'm hosting with Alexandra from Fiberbound, and I'll go into the cowl later. But I was like, Lucy, this is your cowl. You need to really work on the project and get it done. So I kind of gave myself a little bit of kick up the bottom. So we are doing a cowl for any ANKER'S pattern. We have decided to do the ANKER'S summer shirt, Alexandra and I, and a lot of other people actually, and it's really nice to see them all popping up and becoming garments. So this is how far I've got. I'm a little way past the sleeve split now, which I wasn't at that point last time. So I've got all of my increases done. I've got 4 ribbed increase sections, and then I split for the arms here, and I've got a fair amount done. This much under the arms, a couple of inches, maybe 3. So yeah, I'm pleased with the progress on this one, and I love the colour. I'm not sure if it's going to wash me out, but quite like it. We'll see. So this one I actually sized down because if you've watched my previous episodes, I made this in a silver colour in the size medium, and it was a good fit, but I think since I've worn it a couple of times and since I blocked it and I've lost a little bit of weight, it's become a little bit too big. So that one might be going to mum. But I decided to size down for this one. So I am now making the small, which is quite nice because actually I don't think there's a great deal of difference in the stitch count, but it seems quite quick now to do the rounds. So I have, like I said, split for the sleeve. So I'm now just working round and round and round to the body. To the desired length. I'll probably do it a little bit shorter. I did before. I can't tell you the details because it is a paid for pattern by Petite Knit. but I didn't do it full length last time. I had it slightly cropped. I mean, it's not cropped, but I wear high-waisted jeans, so it's just a good length to wear with those. I didn't want it super long because I think the measurements were quite long for me. So yeah, I shortened it anyway. And I'll do the same with this one, lengthwise, thereabouts. I won't do it exact, but yes, that is my Anker's summer shirt. So I am knitting this with, as you have probably already seen, the Lion Brand, wrong way, I normally have my camera there and I've moved it today to do it the other way, Lion Brand Kobu yarn in mauve. So as I've previously said, I love this yarn. It's super soft. It can be a bit splitty, but I really enjoy working with it. Once you get into the rhythm of it, I find it much easier. So this is my third one. I haven't quite started it yet, and I have got how much left of my second? It won't be enough to finish, so I don't think anyway. Got that much left of my second one. So let's see how that goes. I am hoping to have it done by the end of the cow. So watch this space. I should probably tell you a few more details about it. It's on my Ravelry page, which, as I said, will be linked down below. But I'm knitting it on 4mm needles, which is a US 6, I believe. Just round circular on my ChowGoo interchangeables, which are by far my favourite needles. It's very uncommon for me to knit with any other needles. ChowGoo are my absolute favourite and my go-to. Right, I'm going to chuck this over here. That's whip number 1, the Anker's summer shirt. That has been on my needles the longest out of all these whips, I think. So let's head into another one. This is my beautiful drawstring sock bag, which I bought on Etsy, and I can't remember who it is from, but I'll link it down below. It'll be in my purchase history, I'm sure. So I showed these last time. I am knitting these for another knit along that's going on, which is a charity knit along for socks for the West Midlands Ambulance Service. So all details for that will be down below. This is an ongoing cow until the 1st of December. We're basically trying, Jeanette, one of my viewers, had the idea to basically try and knit 500 pairs of socks for the West Midlands Ambulance Service, kind of for Christmas, as a bit of a thank you for all of their hard work through COVID. So I kind of chatted with her and decided to do a little bit of a knit along so that we can give her a helping hand, because 500 socks is a lot for one person to make. Almost impossible, I'm sure. Even if it was your full-time job, that would be quite tricky, right? I imagine. But here is one I made earlier. So I think last time I showed you this, so I guess this is a half finished object. I think last time I showed you this, it was still on my needles. So it was very kindly gifted, this Regia yarn, which is, let me find the label so I can tell you. It is a Regia 4-ply sock yarn, this one, and it's like self-patterning, it stripes up. And it is colour 02265. These are 50-gram balls. And where's the leftovers? I'm making these, well, I'm intending for these to be for a gentleman, but a lady might have a larger foot too. I have this much left. It's a fair amount, to be fair, and I probably could have kept going, but I didn't want to make it too big. I think I made it around, I don't know now, I'm doubting myself, around a size 10, men's 10, UK 10. So yeah, I did a 2x2 rib for the cuff, and then I knit 10, 20, 30, 40 rounds for the leg. 10, 20, 30, 40, no, I lie, 50 rounds for the leg. And then I did a shadow wrap heel, and then I knit 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 rounds for the foot before I then did the toe. So I'm quite happy with how that turned out. It's quite a nice, thick, dense material, and actually once I got halfway through this sock, thought maybe I should have gone up a needle size. So I'm knitting these on a 2.25mm needle, ChowGoo 9-inch. I have started the other one, but it's not, they're not the ones. They're the ones I use for the toe. Where is it? I don't want to pull it in case it unravels. I've literally just started, so I don't have very much to show you on that one. But yeah, I'm using a 2.25, and because it's a slightly thicker yarn than the fingering sock that I'm used to, I think I probably could have got away with a 2.5. However, I don't have a 2.5 Chalgu needle that I love. More to come on that later. But I have a whole completed sock, and I'm working on the second. So I'm using a 50-gram ball for each of these because it wouldn't be enough to just have one. And then maybe the leftovers I'll keep to do a scrappy kind of sock, or I don't know, something. I'll do something with this. It won't go to waste, that's for sure. So that's whip number 2. I will pop all that back in the bag. I'm really enjoying making these socks actually, because there's no time pressure too, like it's quite a long cowl. I've got till the 1st of December, so I'm quite enjoying just having them there and picking them up and knitting them. It's just so easy, isn't it, to pick up a sock and knit it when you've got a few minutes. So that is number 2. Okay, I'm going to go with these ones. These have a bit of a story, so sit tight, get ready. First of all, I am housing this in my llama bag, alpaca bag. If you've watched my vlog haul from the Southern Wool Show, you'll know that I wasn't sure if they're alpacas or llamas. But this is from Pickle Lily. I don't know if you can really see that. I have a few of her bags and I really love them. So it is a bit of a squeeze to fit it in here purely because of the yarn I'm using. But yeah, it fits fine. I just have to squish it in a little bit, and as the sock knits up more, it obviously creates a little bit, oh, I'm in a tangle, a little bit more space. So let's hang that over there. I was quite happily, I think I was knitting on the blue socks for WMAS. I was quite happily sitting outside in the sun on a bench while the girls were in their ballet lessons. A couple of weeks ago now, must have been. Or was it last week? I can't remember. I was quite happily sat there. I put my earbuds in. I was watching a podcast on YouTube, and I was knitting away. So happy and content in my own little world. And all of a sudden I could feel, you know when you're just sat there and you can feel somebody is staring at you? I could feel it. And I was trying not to look up because I didn't want to engage in conversation with someone. That's really bad, isn't it? I just wanted to sit there and I just wanted to knit and make the most of the time while the girls were in their lesson. So I was trying not to, but there became a point where I had to look up, and there was this elderly lady standing there watching me knitting the sock. And naturally she started conversation with me. I was like, oh gosh, here we go. Now I'm not unsociable, but you know when you're just really like trying to focus on something and get things done and making the most of the time that you have. That's how I felt, and I was like, oh, now I'm going to be stuck chatting to her for a really long time, like for the rest of the lesson, and I'm not going to get anything done. I sound like a right old misery, don't I? But anyway, she started chatting to me and she was like, oh, are you crocheting a scarf? I was like, no, actually I'm knitting a sock. I'm doing some charity knitting. And I explained to her about the socks for WMAS. And then she seemed to get a little bit like sad and a little bit teary, and she was like, oh, that's so lovely. I had a neighbour who used to knit me socks. I really loved them. They're my favourite, but they've all got holes in, and sadly my neighbour died. And I was like, oh no. Like, and I felt, oh, I'm touching the microphone, sorry guys. I felt really, really empathetic towards her, and I guess maybe I shouldn't, but I did. And I thought, oh no, poor lady, like she's lost her neighbour, all of her hand knit socks have got holes in. Poor her. So I was like, oh no, that's really, really sad. I'm so sorry to hear that, blah, blah, blah. And then we proceeded the conversation, and she started to ask me how long it takes me to make a pair of socks, and you know, how much does the yarn cost, and do I enjoy it, and how do I find time around the girls and everything. And then I thought the conversation was over, and I just thought she was going to walk off and go, but she didn't. She went, so can you make me a pair? And I was just like, yeah, sure. Before I knew it, before I could say anything, it just came out my mouth. I was like, yeah, of course I can. That's no problem. And then she was like, great, so I'm a size UK 8. And I was like, oh gosh, she's got big feet. Like, why? Anyway, she walked off and she was like, I'll be back in a little bit. I was like, okay, no problem. So it's probably like half an hour gone at this stage. And sure enough, she came back. She started chatting again. And then she said, I'm really serious about those socks if you'd knit them for me. I was like, yeah, sure, it's fine, no problem. She went, so how will we do this? And I was like, well, can I take your number and maybe give you a call when they're ready? Thinking, you know, I could take my time, there's no hurry. She went, I don't have a number. I was like, right. So she got her diary out, and previously we had spoken about how long it takes to make socks. So I said, I didn't want to put too much of a time constraint on myself. So I told her about 2 weeks, and she was like, great. So shall I come back in 3 weeks, give you an extra week to make them? And started writing in her diary. And then she said, so in 3 weeks, it might not be very nice weather. It's nearly the end of September. So if you're not sat on this bench, where will you be? Which car is yours? So I pointed out my car, and she took down my registration plate, and she was like, great, I'll come back in 3 weeks and find you. And I was just like, oh, Lucy, why weren't you stronger? Why didn't you say, I'm really sorry, but I don't have time to knit you socks? So I'm going to have a sip of tea. So after all that, I ended up committing to making this stranger a pair of socks. So my third whip is my stranger socks. I've named them my stranger socks. I went to my local yarn store and bought some commercial based yarn because this makes me sound terrible, but I didn't want to use any of my own yarn. My yarn is my yarn. Yeah, that's really selfish. But I love all of the yarn that I've chosen, and all of the hand-dyed yarn I've bought because I love it and because I want to use it for something for myself. And I wasn't prepared to use it for a stranger that I don't even know. Like, I don't even know her name. She didn't even tell me her name. I have no idea. So whether she comes back or not, I mean, she probably will. She put it in her diary. But a stranger sock. She didn't mind the colour. You know, she was very considerate. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, my phone started ringing. I don't know if that interrupted. Hopefully not. Hopefully my dad doesn't mind me hanging up on him because I'm chatting to you guys. So, yes, here is my stranger sock. So I went to the yarn store and I chose a purpley colour and thought, well, that will do. That'll do. Actually, I've taken out some of the markers, so I don't know how many I did. I think I did 15 round 1x1 cuff by the looks of it. That's more than 10. And then I think I did a 40 round leg with a shadow wrap heel, and I'm ready to do the toe. I was zooming with some friends last night and I got carried away, so I think it's going to be a slightly bigger than expected, but I wasn't prepared to frog back. I've spent so long already, like, just knitting to this point. So I think I worked out for a UK size 8. I've got a sock ruler, and I think I worked out I needed 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 rounds before I do the toe. It seems really big, but I mean, I'm a 7. It might be too big, but as my friends on my Zoom said, well, if it's too big, at least she won't ask you to make any more. But she might be really critical, and she might be like, can you please adjust this? This doesn't fit. So what yarn am I using? I am using Rico Design Superba bamboo. Superba. Oh, I don't know. It's a bamboo superwash. This one is 100 grams. It's the colour 022. It's knitting up really pretty, actually. I quite like the colourway, so if she doesn't, then it's too bad, I'm afraid. So I was able to start these after the pigskin, so I can count these as my pigskin, one of my first pigskin cast-ons, so I can use the yardage for that, and I am using one of the markers that my friend Kristen gave me, so from Adore Knits, so I can use that to get me extra bonus points too. So all is not lost. It gets me more points for the pigskin, but it does deter me from working on other projects because I have a deadline. I have to get 2 socks done by the 28th, which is fine. I have another week and a bit, so this one will be finished today and then I can cast on the other one. But you know when you're just like, wow, this lady's got some nerve. Like, I just told her this takes me 2 weeks to knit and she's asking me for a pair. I shouldn't be so bitter. It made her day. She was a lovely lady. It's probably going to be the highlight of her month. So all is not lost, Lucy. Sometimes we need to do things for other people. Future Lucy, remember that. So that's whip number 3. There are a couple more. So on the day of the pigskin party, I did cast something on. Sorry, I've put it all down here and I can't reach any of it. This one is in my Stephen and Penelope bag, my bucket bag that I got when I visited their store in 2020, just before lockdown. So I think I previously discussed that I wanted to make a habitation throw for my nan for Christmas. I've wanted to make the habitation throw for a while, but I think I want to make it for myself with my advents, or one of my advents this year. So I thought I'll do like a trial run for Nan because she keeps going on about hand knit stuff and she really wants something. So if you don't know, this is the habitation throw pattern. It is by Helen Stewart and it's beautiful. It's going to be quite light. It's going to be quite holy and airy, and I think she will really like it. So I'm using some scraps and some yarn that I got from a swap that I did. So I've got lots of different random colours, and what I have done is I have divided them into 10-gram balls. So I have, oh, they're all coming a little bit undone. Oh, that one's attached, I think that's why. I had 20-gram balls and I've halved them so that I can use one ball of each on the increase to get to the middle and then the other half to decrease. So I've got a lot of these in here, and to be honest, I cast on the 9th, the very, what is going on in here? The very start of pigskin, and this is what I've done. It's quite lame, but I literally just started it. So I haven't picked it up since because I've been trying to get the ANKER'S tea and stuff done. And it's the first time, other than a Stephen West pattern, I think it's the first time I've done the I-cord cast on. So I was a bit like, oh wait, I need to YouTube this and just make sure that I'm doing it correctly. And actually it's not the neatest start, but I think it will all block out and it will be fine. So this is my mini habitation throw. Not a lot to say about it. So all of the yarn I'm using is fingering weight yarn. Some are 80/20s, some are 25/75s, and they're all just a random mixture, but I think she'll quite like that. Nan really loves greens, so there's quite a few greens in there, but there's also some neutrals. They're all unravelling, but they're all in there. Some of them really beautiful. I love quite a lot of these colours, so I know that she will too. So I plan to work a little bit more on this. But these are done on a 4mm2 Chalgu interchangeable set, which is a US 6, I believe it says on there. So yeah, it's not looking great so far, but I started it. That's the main thing, right? Oh, let's put the pattern back. And I think it's a really good, easy repeat to remember. So my knit friends have told me. So once I get going and learn the repeat and do more than like a centimetre, I should be okay and I should be able to just fly through it. I think it'll be a really nice one because also you get the colour changes. So you just kind of, you'll get to that point where you go, oh, I just knit to the next colour, I'll just knit to the next colour. And I think it's pretty addictive, to be fair. Sorry, I need to drink this before it goes cold. I need to get one of those mug heaters that you put your mug on and it keeps it warm. Maybe that will go on my Christmas list for Santa. And I've got one more whip, which I started just a couple of days ago actually, but I've really enjoyed working on. So this one you've been waiting for, I'm sure, because I have spoken about it a lot. I've finally started my ranunculus. I was having a lot of trouble casting it on. I didn't have the correct size needle and the correct size cord. When I was doing the cast on, I was having trouble trying to do it magic loop. Magic loop is not my favourite method. Excuse me, I have a really croaky voice. Magic loop is not my favourite method of knitting. I much prefer knitting in the round, small circulars. And I did order some small circulars to do this, and they took forever to come. So that was through Amazon. So I cancelled the order, ordered them from somewhere else, and they arrived. But then I was waiting for the pigskin party so that I could use the meterage, yardage, whatever, to go towards that for points for my team. So I am using this beautiful, beautiful yarn. Look, it's very hay-like. It's spun quite badly, wound up quite badly in a cake because I did try the attempt a couple of times. So it's all a bit crazy on the outside, but this is beautiful. This is the John Arbon Devonia base or yarn. It's a 4-ply. It is 50% Exmoor Blueface, 30% Blueface Leicester, and 20% Wensleydale. So it's 100% Devon wool, made in the UK, and John Arbon Textiles are in Devon. They have a mill and everything, which I hope to visit one day. And this is in the colourway Ocean Rain. I really love this. It feels quite, it smells cheapy, but it feels quite rustic. Well, I guess it's not that rustic, but it is a bit scratchier than the usual merino that I use, but I've heard that it washes up beautifully. So I don't think I have the needle because I put it away, but I started the cast on in the end on a 5mm 9-inch circular, which was tiny, but so much easier. The cast on is like magic. I don't know if you've done this, you'll know what I'm talking about, but the cast on is equally terrifying and magic. So it's a provisional cast on using scrap yarn or waste yarn, and then you get to a certain point and you just pull the waste yarn out and nothing comes unravelled. So this is obviously my cast on, and it was tiny, really tiny on my little 9-inch in the beginning, and then you pull that waste yarn out and it just grows. And because I was like, how is that ever going to be a neckline? Like, I haven't got a particularly large head, but my head is never going to get through this hole. And then obviously I pulled out the cast on and it was fine. Trust the pattern, Lucy. That's what I have been told. So I've got somewhat far. I'm on the lace section now. I've got this, ignore my random yellow piece of waste yarn. I put that in as a lifeline because I didn't have much confidence in myself on the German short rows. I think they're really easy now. I've done them. But I've not done them in this way before. I've only done wraps and turns before, and this isn't wraps and turns. And yeah, I was just a little bit worried that I was going to mess it up, and I didn't want to have to do the whole cast on again, because it was a bit fiddly until you get to a certain point. So I can probably rip that out now. But tell me, if you have knit a ranunculus, so I've done the first few lines of the lace, but it just looks like nothing. Tell me that's right? It will appear to be something, will it? I'm hoping it's right. I mean, right now it just looks like a bunch of random stitches, but I'm told you don't really see the true pattern until you get to a certain point and then block it out. So we'll see. This is my trial run. I'm told that it's a very addictive pattern, and so far I am a bit like, oh, let's get to the next section, let's get to the next section. And I just love this colour. It's not really well shown in here because it's getting quite dark. It's a really cloudy day today. But this, yes, ranunculus. So I think the pattern calls for 6mm needles, but the pattern is just a one-size-fits-all pattern. There is a part in the pattern, I think, where you can adapt it for a bigger bust maybe. But as standard, it's just a one-size-fits-all. And I took a tip from Laura at PENROSE Knits. She knit this a while back in this exact colour until she had a bit of a disaster with it. but she made it a little bit tighter, like not tight, but not as baggy and loose as the pattern intends, because she went down a needle size. So I have done the same. I think she might have gone to a 5, can't remember, but I've done a 5.5, so somewhere in the middle. 5.5 millimeter, and I'm now on a 8-inch cable, and I've increased quite a bit, so I could probably put it now onto a 16. But I did start, as I said, the cast on and the whole like rib section for the neck, I did start in a 5mm, just because I couldn't get 5.5 really. And I don't mind that the neck is a little bit different, and then as soon as I had enough stitches, I changed to the 5.5 and a longer cord once I knew that the stitches would fit on. So I'm quite excited about this one. I think originally I was going to make it with the short sleeves, because I've been talking about this for so long. I was going to make it in the summer, but I think now I might make it with longer sleeves, but I think I'm just going to do a 3/4 sleeve. I don't love a full length sleeve, because at work I'm kind of with the girls, I tend to get messy, my hands are in water, I'm doing the washing, whatever. So I think a 3/4 sleeve, or like just a bit shorter than a bracelet sleeve, will be perfect. So that is my ranunculus. Not much to show you yet, but it will become something. And this is in my antler and acorn bag, which I think my husband got from Etsy for me for Christmas. It's a really nice project bag. I love the kind of leather handles. It's a very autumnal colour, so it tends to come out in the autumn. But yes, that was my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th and final whip. Look at me, 5, gosh. That just means I need to start knitting faster. Oh, I've got all the labels and things out. I didn't put those away. Anyway, I have got... You hear that? I'm hoping that wasn't as loud for you as it was for me, but that was my stomach making a noise. And also my neighbour downstairs is, by the sounds of it, having a party again. So I'm hoping you can't hear that either. I'm just going to keep talking, and then there'll be no silence, and then you won't be able to hear the music over my voice. So I only have one finished object this week, and they are, dum dum dum, the lovely Anna socks by Penrose Knits. So I applied to knit these as a test knit for Laura, and I hadn't done much colour work before, and I don't know, I just loved them. I just love the pattern. I love the look of the pattern and the design that it makes, and I had this yarn and I thought, you know, that's going to be perfect. I'm going to apply. I'm going to see if I get accepted. If I don't, I don't. If I do, great. So Laura very kindly did accept, and I have knit these for myself. I need to take some pictures of these. I haven't really done so yet. But I have knit the medium size on her pattern, I believe, and a shorty, as you can see. So this is Ducky Darling's yarn. The blue and the peachy orange colour were a sister set that I had, and then the white is just a 20-gram mini that I had lying around. So what shall I tell you about these? These have got a 10 round, I think it's about 10 round, or maybe I did it to a measurement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A 9 round cuff. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? I should have done a 10. Never mind. And then a repeat of the pattern, and then we had to put in some scrap yarn to come back to do a peasant afterthought heel, and then continue down the pattern, did the toe. Actually, what I did, which was a tip that Laura said, is you can knit to a certain point and then do the heel and then try them on, because I've not had much luck. I'm going to put these down. I've not had much luck with afterthought heels on socks for getting the sizing right. So I often find that they don't fit me very well, and it's kind of pointless making a sock that doesn't fit you very well. So I did do that. I knit to probably about here, probably one repeat less. I went back, I did the afterthought peasant heel. I'm not sure it's called the afterthought because you have thought about it because you've put the scrap yarn in. But yes, I did the peasant heel, which I'd never done before, but was pretty easy. Laura has a pretty good video for that. And then I tried it on and continued the rest of the sock and did the toe, and they fit me perfectly. I was a bit worried when I was finished because they were a little bit snug, but once they've been blocked and then put on the sock blocker, they fit me perfectly now. So I'm really happy with those. Perfect pair. Well, I think they're perfect. And you can see the jog line down here, but the pattern's written really well for that. So this is my right foot sock, so that the jog seam is on the inside of my foot, and this is my left sock, so that the jog line on this one is also on the inside. So really lovely pattern. I will let you know when it is going to be released from Laura. Why have I got a random strand of like pink or something in that white? That's really annoying. Do you know how that happened? I'll dig that out. Anyway, I will let you know when the pattern is going to be released. Perfect knit, and the other test knitters have made some really beautiful ones and longer ones, and yeah, it's a really addictive pattern. I just found myself wanting to get to the next colour, to the next colour, to the next colour. So I did knit these on a 2.5mm needle, 9-inch, and this is what I was talking about earlier. I'm going to put those on there. I only had Knit Pro Symphony wooden needles in a 2.5. I don't have a ChiaoGoo in a 2.5 because I haven't done much colour work in socks, so I haven't needed a bigger size, and I hate them. I'm sorry. I love the needle, like it's beautiful. It's got the kind of marble colour wooden needle tips, but the join from the needle to the cable is awful. Constantly kind of shuffling my stitches around. It wasn't smooth, it wasn't enjoyable, and I think I would have knit them a lot quicker had I have had ChiaoGoos in a 2.5. So I'm going to order myself some because I did buy Laura's corset sock pattern and I really want to make those, and their colour work too, so I think I'm going to have to go up to a 2.5 in those as well. But that could just be me. It's important to obviously get your gauge rather than just copy somebody else's needle size, but I'm sorry Knit Pro, I didn't love them. That's it for finished objects. I do have something that I'm going to cast on this week. I know, I hear you, I don't need another whip, but Imagined Landscapes Gnome Knit Along starts this Tuesday, which is the what is it today? 19th, 20th, so 21st. If you don't know anything about it, I'll pop her info down below so you can go check it out. It's basically a gnome knit along. You get a clue every couple of days and you knit a gnome. She does it every year, I believe, and I've never known about it, so this is my first. I've got some yarn that if you've watched my haul, my vlog, you will have seen that I bought at the Southern Wool Show for that, so I need to cake that up and get that ready and get my needles and everything in a bag. Actually, I did bring it in here to show you in case you didn't watch the vlog and you still want to know. Can't leave you guys out. So I bought these three. The green and the red do have silver stellina in them because I thought, well, these are Christmassy colours. It's going to be a Christmassy gnome. And if you can't have sparkle at Christmas, when can you? Now these are traditionally, these aren't even the colours of Christmas decorations that I own. So I don't really know if they'll go very well in the house, but you have to make a Christmassy coloured gnome, right? I mean, not everybody is. But what I figured is if I didn't love it in these colours, then I could re-knit it in another colour anyway. I think it's going to be a pretty quick knit. I was looking at the details last night, but I can't remember how long you get to knit it, but you get a fair amount of time because I think the clues are going to be quite small. So yeah, I'm going to cake these up and get them ready. The only downside is to the pattern, which I didn't think about, and this isn't obviously Imagined Landscape's fault at all, but it's on DPNs. Ugh, that's not going to be fun. I'm not a DPN lover. I don't mind them. That's not really fair. I don't mind them. It's just the beginning, isn't it? It's very fiddly, getting the stitches in the right places. Yeah, we'll see how it happens. I guess I could always change to a 9-inch But then I think I'm just going to be changing back. For the size of it, I don't think it's going to be worth it. So I won't be showing that here on the podcast because I don't want to provide any spoilers for anyone that might be taking part. So I'll wait till he's complete and then I will share him, or her. It's Norwin, isn't it? Norwin the gnome, because I wasn't sure I had that right last time, but I put it here and I think it was right. So that's it for finished objects and whips. A couple of things to talk about. We have 2 cows, as I previously mentioned, running right now. The ANKER'S cow runs until the 9th of October. So it's for any ANKER'S pattern, hosted by Alexandra at Fiberbound and myself. So head on over and check her out, and you can follow the hashtag ANKERSOBSESSEDKAL, K-A-L, and see all the lovely ANKER'S patterns come to life. It's really lovely to see. So you don't have to be finished by the 9th of October. So if you're thinking of starting, but you know you won't get it done by then, that's fine. You can make a start. All entries on Instagram with the hashtag will count for the giveaway, for prizes, and over on our Ravelry group, we both have a Ravelry group for our podcast, and we both have a thread over there for finished objects and one for chatter. So if you want to go and chat to others that are making the ANKER'S pattern, then feel free to head over there. And please make sure that you put your finished object into the finished objects thread so that we can draw prizes from there too. If yours is still a whip, totally fine. Just if you use Instagram, pop it on Instagram. I hadn't really thought that through. If you don't use Instagram, just pop it in the finished objects thread anyway. It's fine. There's no pressure to have it done by the 9th. So I think the only thing for that is, if you are using the hashtag over on Instagram, you must be following both Alexandra and I to be able to win prizes. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before. It was in the details in the description, but if you haven't read that, then you wouldn't know. And the socks for WMAS is still running, and it will run until the 1st of December. So it's been really lovely to see this week. Actually, a few people have tagged me and things and said, oh, making my socks for WMAS. So that's really lovely. Thank you all so very much. And thank you to everybody that has donated yarn or sent in socks already. It is very much appreciated. They're going to go to a very, very good cause. So talking of cows, if you would like to, or you have a small business, or you are a pattern designer or anything and you would like to donate prizes to any of the cows, then that would be appreciated too. Please contact me. My email address is down below. We do have a few prizes already, but it's always nice to have extra prizes for you guys after you're working so hard on all of your projects. So I'm getting into podcast recommendations. I haven't watched many this week. I'm kind of playing catch up from people that I watch on a regular basis. So the only new one I have watched this week is Lauren Knits, and she is Lauren Knits X on Instagram, and I think on YouTube. I'll post it down below. She is from Scotland. She is a mum of 1. She has a little boy, and she has just recently knit the most beautiful ranunculus in the most beautiful colour, and I think it's for her friend. So go over, check her out, give her some likes, tell her I sent you. Yeah, go check her out. I love listening to her. I just love the Scottish accent too. Can't even speak. The Scottish accent too. So it's really nice to just listen, as I've said before, to different accents. I really enjoy that. Right, okay, I think my last thing is acquisitions, and I don't have many, which makes a change. Let me get my little basket. I have my Friends Club. So if you receive the Friends Club from Castleview Yarns and you have not received or opened your Chandler, which is the September's 2021 mini schemes, so this club, I received Chandler. I am going to show it now, so please skip ahead if you do not want to see the colourways. So the colourways are, oops, I'm dropping everything. Gum Would Be Perfection. So which one is that? Ah, this one. Hold on, let me fold it up. This one is beautiful. There's so many colours in there. The work that goes into these, like Jen, is amazing. I love it. So Gum Would Be Perfection is that one. A Very Long Hard Day is this one. Love that one too. Well, I love them all, so I could just say that about all of them. Whopper is this one. I'm not sure I can recall the episode for this one. I might have to go look that up. But I do love a neutral with a pop of colour, so this is stunning. Miss Chandler Bong. This is like a really nice deep purpley. It's got some browns, some creams. Love that one. And Could I Be Any Funnier is green. A nice tonal green. That's showing up really well actually. Nice kind of lighter bits, darker bits. Beautiful. So I believe he's the last character, isn't he? I think that's number 6. I should say I got these on a sock base and they are 25% superwash merino, 25%, no they're not, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and each 20 gram is 85 meters. So I think I am going to, as I've said before, keep them, knit them all together on a blanket. That's my plan, but I am going to wait until I receive the whole collection before I do anything about it, because I am unsure whether I'm going to keep the characters together or whether I am going to spread them all out. I don't know. I haven't decided. And my last one is another Castleview Yarns acquisition. And anyone would think I was sponsored, but I'm not. I just love her yarns so much. So Jen over at Castleview Yarns, it was their birthday, basically. It wasn't her birthday, it was Castleview Yarns' birthday. And Castleview Yarns turned 2. And I don't know about you guys, but any excuse to buy yarn is a great excuse. And when it's a special colourway for a birthday, I'm there. I don't need any persuading. And I know a few of us from our knit group bought this. Look at that. How stunning is that? So this, as you can probably tell by the fuzz, is a mohair silk. It's 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, and it's a 50 gram skein and it's 420 meters, and I got 2 of them. One, because I love them so much, and 2, because I think I am going to knit a love note with this. So I think I'm going to hold it with a bare merino fingering weight and yeah, knit a love note. I think that would be beautiful. Nicole over at Prof Pearl is hosting a love note love knit along the beginning of October, I think, and I've wanted to make a love note for so long, and I don't need another whip. I have too many, but I'm still going to cast it on, so I need to order myself some bare yarn, but I think I'm just going to order it from Knit Picks. Stunning. Beautiful, beautiful. Can't wait to make that. Can't wait to knit it up and see what it becomes. I believe she still has some more of this in stock. She did have a certain amount and then said she would open for pre-orders. So there are also sock sets. There are just normal fingering weight. I think you can also get it on DK. So if you're interested, go and check Castleview Yarns out. I will pop her details down below. So I think that's everything, guys. I don't have anything else to talk to you about. I am very excited for this week. The little one starts school full time as of tomorrow, which means I will finally have my 3 whole days whilst they're at school to come home and knit and do other things. So probably not other things, let's face it, I'm going to knit. Who am I trying to kid? So I'm hoping that will give me time to work through some of these whips and get things off the needle so I can start new things. I really want to try and focus on getting points for the pigskin party. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. Can you hear that? My stomach. Every time I take a sip of drink is gurgling. Maybe it doesn't like this tea, but I really like it. Sorry about the stomach making those noises. Apologies. There's me highlighting it. You may not even be able to hear that. Now I've just told you that. Yeah, anyway, whatever. Okay, fine. I'm going to go. It is already 50 minutes and I will be back again next week. That's what I was going to say. We will trial doing weekly podcast episodes. Some of them might be sit down videos like this. Some of them might be vlog styles. Some of them might be just a day in the life. I am going to kind of dabble in a little bit of yarn dyeing. I've ordered some things, some equipment to give that a go because I have decided at least for now, I'm going to try and dye another 3 skeins of yarn myself for the shawlography. And if it doesn't go to plan, I'll buy them. But I really want to give it a go. I don't know if I'll be any good at it. Might be terrible at it. It's probably way harder than it looks. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about dyeing and it is an art and I don't know if I have that finesse. But I figured, look, if I'm just making it for myself, then it doesn't really matter if it's a disaster. It doesn't really matter if it goes wrong. I'm not putting any pressure on myself. I'm not opening a yarn dyeing business. So I'm just going to make yarn, dye it for myself and see how I go. Have fun with it, no pressure. So watch this space. There might be a few random videos of me attempting to dye yarn and you'll probably all sit there watching, screaming at me, going, you're doing it wrong. But I'm going to give it a try. But I hope you all have a lovely week. Stay safe, take care, happy crafting, and I will see you all again next week. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.